Nomads, Jess here from Notes of Nomads, and today we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day in Japan. So why are we talking about Valentine's Day in Japan? Because it sounds like a pretty straightforward thing. But I just wanted to talk about it today because it is celebrated quite a bit differently in Japan. And I see that there are really two major differences. One is that unlike in many Western countries where it's a day when couples exchange gifts, or some might even say there's a little bit more pressure on the men to do some kind of romantic gesture on that day. In Japan, it's a day when women give gifts to men, and men don't have to give any gift in return. This gift is usually like chocolates or cookies or something like that, a sweet kind of treat. And the second big difference is that it's not only a romantic holiday, so this is not something that women just do for their significant other. It is something that they are doing for all of the men that they like, all the men that they want to acknowledge in their lives. So they actually have different terms for the different levels of gift giving, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about those today, what they mean and what all of that entails. Okay, so the first level of gift giving is called Giri Choco, or obligation chocolates, and these are given to people with whom you have a platonic relationship with, such as male co-workers, male friends, and so on. They're generally pretty run-of-the-mill type gifts, not so expensive so as not to get any wires crossed as to the intention of the gift. And there is also the rather unfortunate term of Giri Choco, or super obligatory chocolates, which you give to people whom you don't really want to give a gift to, but if you're going to be giving one to everyone else, it would be kind of awkward not to. The next level of gift giving is called Honmei Choco, or favorite chocolates, and these are given to the person you love or someone you have a romantic interest in. So in the lead up to Valentine's Day, you will see a lot of chocolates being sold in stores, beautifully packaged boxes of chocolates. Many of the department stores also will set up small booths in the train stations, around train stations, so people can easily pick up a box of beautifully presented chocolates to give to their loved one. Buying a box of chocolates as a Honmei Choco is totally acceptable, but I guess the ultimate Honmei Choco is considered to be something that is handmade or homemade, because it shows, it demonstrates some level of effort, and hence, your affection for that person. You've put in all this effort to make them something for Valentine's Day. So that's why you will see in many of the stores at this time as well a lot of baking items. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be any cheaper to make it at home, because the Japanese do place a lot of emphasis on presentation. So once you put all of these things together and all the decorations and the wrapping and everything, it's actually not necessarily anymore. It's not necessarily cheaper to do it that way. In fact, it could even be more expensive. But the main point of doing that is to show that you really care for that person by taking time to make them something at home. The third type of gift giving is Tomo Choco, or friend chocolates, and this is the only exception to the male-only gift giving rule. This is when women give gifts to their female friends as an expression of their friendship. And this is usually a homemade gift because, as you can imagine, if there are a lot of people to buy for, that can add up really quickly. And it is really commonplace for schoolgirls to do this, so if they have to buy something for all of the girls in their class and in their club activities and so on, that can add up really quickly. So it's usually something that is homemade. So as you can kind of tell, Valentine's Day in Japan is a little bit more complicated than it is in the West. I think, and I just want to make a note also that not everybody in Japan celebrates Valentine's Day, just like people all around the world. Not everybody chooses to participate in it. I think it really depends on yourself, your relationship with your partner, and your relationship with people in wider circles, since in Japan there's also this social gift giving that goes on with the obligation chocolates and the friend chocolates. So I think it really depends on your particular friendship group and, you know, your particular workplace as to whether people are doing it there or not. If you give a gift to no one else, if you're giving gifts and no one else is, that might feel kind of awkward. If everyone else is giving gifts and you don't, then that you might feel a sense of obligation to also join in on it. So I think it just really depends on what people around you are doing, and you can just kind of judge from there as to whether, you know, that's something you should do or not. But I do think that in romantic relationships, Japanese women do, this is a generalization of course, do like the idea of Valentine's Day and this kind of imported Western holiday. And so I think when it comes to romantic relationships, if you are a man, you probably would be, and you're in a relationship with a Japanese woman, you would expect that they probably would give you something on this day as a Honmei Choco. The other slightly complicated thing about Valentine's Day in Japan is that not all of your relationships are going to fit neatly into these gift-giving boxes that they have terms for. So, for example, you might have a male colleague who is also a personal friend. So do you give them a Giri Choco or a Tomo Choco? And essentially they can be exactly the same gift. It's really the intention behind it that is important. So a Tomo Choco is more given out of genuine friendship, whereas a Giri Choco might be more something out of courtesy. A third complicating factor is the fact that women are giving gifts to a variety of different people on Valentine's Day, not just to the person that they have a romantic interest in. So there is the chance that your gift could be misinterpreted by the person who is receiving it. Also, at the same time, some people give Honmei Choco disguised as Giri Choco, so they don't want to make it too obvious that it's Honmei Choco if they're giving it to somebody with whom they're not already in a relationship with, but they want to show romantic interest in. They may not want to make it too obvious that they're trying to make a move, just in case that person doesn't reciprocate their feelings, and in which case they can be like, oh, that was just a Giri Choco. So it's kind of a bit of a social puzzle that's really left up to the guys to decipher, who probably up until now have been thinking, oh, this is pretty sweet. I get given all these gifts on Valentine's Day, and I don't have to give anything back, you know, I don't have to give anything in return. This sounds like the perfect place to be for Valentine's Day. Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's going to come back at you, come back to you a month after Valentine's Day, when the Japanese celebrate their second Valentine's Day on March 14th, which is called White Day. And we'll be talking more about what that involves in an upcoming video. But certainly that's not the end of it in Japan. And if you don't like Valentine's Day, that might sound like a nightmarish thing, because it goes on for much longer than the month of February in Japan. It goes on into March when they have their second one. So we'll be presenting that to you very soon. We hope that this video sheds some light on Valentine's Day traditions in Japan, or how it's celebrated in Japan nowadays, and gives you a bit of insight into that. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!